I like that one. Yeah. You are listening to the Lost Minds. You say it, that sounds better. You are listening to the Lost Minds podcast.
Let's get this session started with deep breathing exercise. And by deep breathing exercise, I mean, see on the inside.
Hello. What are you doing? Just making a podcast. Bet your ass cool.
Question.
All right, guys, welcome back to the next podcast. We've all learned our skills. Brick knows how to do metallurgy. Brian is a master leather craftsman. And I have mastered the art of making vinegar and alcohol.
You have to watch it later on YouTube.
We'll have to watch it later on YouTube. It's going to be great.
I wonder if you could do that just down. Well, then it'd be a hard part. I guess if you had a computer, or maybe you had your phone or iPad or something, you could still charge, but you could like download the YouTube videos someone's already made, and then just have like a tutorial, player, prep with saving DIY videos. So prep ahead of time.
You still need electricity.
I think you could get a generator going. I could create a generator out of a lot of
you
stuff.
have a solar panel.
Oh yeah, like a little pad.
Cell phone charger?
Yeah. Cell phone charge.
Dude, I think you can download YouTube videos, though.
Couldn't you do that? Like I was thinking about that doomsday prep DIY videos of how to do stuff. Just because, I guess you could do books, but that's the way I learn now.
Nuts, dude! Imagine watching that. All right, apocalypse happens today, and then fucking 20 years later, and then you're still watching those videos, and you're like, "Holy shit! Look at that electricity in this guy's house."
I know that would be the trick,
he has a bottle of water.
Or even better yet,
Damn,
you have to go to like
coffee tastes good.
That's the point.
Imagine having to go to like a black market or something to get a little flash drive with the video. You're like, man, I really want to know how to make a knife or something out of this rebar. It's like, I know the guy. And you go there and you're like,
gotta go to Brick.
We want to make a knife out of rebar or out of scrap metal. I got just a video. Gives you a little flash drive. You're like, what's this? Plug it in your computer and watch it. It'll teach you how. Dude,
so I've been looking at new phones because my phone's taking a shit. And there's these phones called the Cats. Like a cat phone. So it's like the, I'm assuming it's the company that does like fucking, with those big Tonka truck cat fucking vehicle things.
Is it CAT or KAT?
CAT.
So like Caterpillar?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they have
cool.
cell phones that are fucking nuts, dude. They have thermal vision on them, and they can take a beating.
Infrared.
Beating. It's nuts, but I don't know if I want doomsday
I'd seen
phone.
one that they came out too with, it's a camera phone, like it's made to be a camera, and it's got like 7 or 8 different lenses on the back of it, all like on the back part of the phone, and it's mainly like a really good camera. But it's so weird, and like now I feel like that's the thing that's going to start happening, because I did not know about that cat one. That's funny hearing that, because that would make sense. They're going to make all the workforce ones, and like Alienware is already trying to make gaming ones, and Razer's making like game phones and shit.
Yeah, they got some nice ones, dude.
It's like, what the fuck, dude? What's going to stop? What would be next? Probably like, Nikon and Canon making phones. These are Canon camera phone. Because that would be the best. That would be the best camera phone, honestly, once that kind of comes out. Because I already feel like the camera is the best phone already, or the phone is already the best camera already. And once they do something that's got professional, shit. Because everyone's a photographer, dude. I do photos for people, but dude, people can take the same photo with their fucking phone.
That's true.
And it doesn't take much, and sometimes some people just can't do it. But you get more of that people ability, dude.
It's more of the eye, I feel like.
Yeah, they're like the way they like you can like I guess angle it and do it and stuff. Because really, technology's getting so good, dude.
How annoying would that be though? Like if you had to carry your phone around and a little bag of lenses for your phone. You know what I mean?
A lot better than lugging around a $2,500 camera with a $3,000
but still though
lens and another $5,000 lens and another.
I still think it wouldn't be as good of quality having your phone as it would be to have like your camera. If you had your
but
camera,
if you're like on vacation or something, wouldn't it be more feasible?
Yeah, I guess that would make sense.
And dude, these mirrorless phones cameras are so small. You get a mirrorless one in there, you're just like, and then I had one that was like a little Oleo on my old iPhone. It was like Oleo ring or O-ring or something in there. You just clip them on the front of them, or one of the cases you put a little ring on it and you screw it on the front of them. And that thing was kind of cool. You could do kind of cool stuff with it, and that was a low-grade camera.
You could take like HD pictures of like ants and stuff, right?
Yeah, because like zoom-in ones and shit. Yeah, which is crazy. And so, I mean, you get a little bit better of a megapixel on there. I bet you do. Oh, shoot, some of the phones now, they got better cameras than most of the cameras I ever used when I was growing up, that's for sure.
Yeah, my rear camera is 21 megapixels.
That's kind of crazy. Dude. That's really good.
Not bad.
Because I remember one of my very first cameras that was like a real camera, because I always had disposable cameras. I always thought that was the coolest thing. My mom would like send me on a trip, or whatever, if we went to like Mill Hollow or whatever, if I went camping with my grandma or aunts or whatever, she'd give me like a Polaroid or like a little, disposable.
Those dollar cameras you could buy from a vending machine?
Yeah, and I'd have like, dude, I got like 20 shots, got to make it count and stuff. And I got my first real camera, I thought was like one of my mom's older cameras. And it was just a big old black brick, and it had...
how fitting.
I know. Mm-hmm. And it had like a 6-shot thing on it, so you could hold more in the roll, but you only had for flashes. And so you would have to stab a row of 6 flashlights. It would be like 6 of them, and you'd put it in top of it, and each shot would burn a bulb out of it. And that is all you got, 6 shots out of it. And so I'd be like, oh, I gotta save that one. I go to the gotta save that one,
What happens when you run out of bulbs? You gotta reload it?
Yeah, you gotta buy a new one, dude. It was ghetto, but it was like old one, and that was like the way I thought. I'm like, this is way cool, Thought kind of how it was. But I mean, at that time too, there was definitely, because that was in the 80s and stuff, so there was definitely better cameras. But that was the camera my mom had given me. Oh, that's pretty funny. That was the camera that I had got, and so at the time I'm like, man, this is crazy. But really, there was pretty good film cameras that, like Pentax has. What I got from my aunt now, it's such a good camera, and it's fucking.
Wait, she gave it to you, or you bought it from her?
No, she gave it to me because she's like, oh, you're using a lot of camera stuff. Do you like this kind of camera? And I was like, hell yeah, this is like original good film camera with the original kind of takeoff lenses, and you put them on and stuff. And
pretty pricey camera.
Back in the day, it probably was really pricey with the kit and all the lenses and stuff. And even now, I'm pretty sure they hold their value. But
yeah,
they take really good pictures. I like it too, and I realize those photos too. I really like, especially going through the old ones. I really like because it feels. It's the moment, you like capture that moment. You capture that shit. You're like kind of, it's candid, or it's like got the expression. It's kind of got the realism to it, and even maybe if you were to set up some cool studio type style and be like, it would still look kind of cool. But there's something about like just getting a regular camera, walking around and be like, yeah, and just capturing the soul, capturing someone's soul, I guess you could say, right in that picture.
Well, because you can't fuck up.
Yeah, you're just like, right. And it's like, and it's just, you happen to catch the perfect moment. It's like it was there.
You sound like someone who's trying to come up with a slogan for a camera company.
Yeah, dude. The perfect shot, every shot.
The moment.
It will take your soul.
Yeah. It's so good. Yeah, it's soul stealing.
Each time you take a picture, it takes a little bit of the soul.
Well, you went to El Paso.
Yeah, but I didn't
How
take
was
any of
that?
my shit.
Oh, you didn't take any pictures? Nothing there with like your cameras?
No, I just kind of took my phone and.
If only you had a camera phone.
I know. See, that was pretty good because I'd used my phone and stuff. I didn't think I was going to be there that long, and I didn't know exactly how much we were going to be there, and so I was figuring, I'm like, I'll just take that and just work if we could, because it was only going to be like a week, and just work a shiz load like the few days, and then maybe just come back a day early or whatever. And so I'm like, we'll just do that. We'll just work a lot, and then gotta keep it censored. My mom's like, I listen to your podcast. And I was like, oh my god, hell yeah. She's like, only about 5, because I put those stupid shorts on YouTube, and that's what she thought it was. She's like, yeah, it was like 5 minutes long, and you said the F word like 10 times. She's like, oh my god. And there was another one that was like 10 minutes long, and I was not about to listen to that one or whatever. And I'm like, those are just the shorts. I'm like, they're like an hour long. And she's like, oh my god.
If you're not following us on YouTube, what is it, Lost Minds?
Yeah, Lost Minds podcast on YouTube, so check it out.
Oh, yeah.
Random shorts. We're working on getting videos, so it's for fun.
Our best one is the one with the flat earth stuff that we talk about, because people actually commented on it, and there was like 7 or 8 people arguing.
Mad.
And I was like, damn. I don't know if these guys are dumb or if they're smart. Because it's fucking so out of context. It just literally starts in the middle of a sentence, like a word, like a letter. We're like, and that's when we were talking, and they take it for word for word.
Idiots, like, this is not real. It's
so
kind of funny.
You obviously haven't done your own counter measurements of the spherical Earth, and I'm just like, dude,
You know, it doesn't say like scientist podcast or anything. It's like, we're doing our best to try and figure that out, I guess. But it's all in, you know, it's all coming good nature. We're not trying to make fact here, unless it is fact. Then like, well, you said it first. You know, Ready Player One, 3 movies.
I think that's the one. The thing that everyone takes so seriously is because there's so many dumb people out there that they take what they hear as fact. So if we say something like all cabinets are made of oak, people will think that all cabinets are made of oak, even though there's nothing backing that statement. People will take it for.
I'm gonna take that out of context and put that in a little short and be like, "Did you know that all cabinets are made of oak?" And this guy's gonna be like, "I have plexiboard. This is so You're lying. We're out of oak trees."
That's why we're running out of oak. It's because everyone's making cabinets.
That is a kind of an interesting thing. I wonder how many oak trees will be left until you can't make cabinets until you hear that kind of shit. It gets to be like a fine wine, you know, and you see people making stuff out of like cherry and different color woods. Pretty soon they'll be gone, you know.
Dude, here's one for you.
U-logs, magic wood.
You ever buy yourself a freaking box of toothpicks?
Yeah.
Each of those toothpicks is a different redwood.
Just one redwood?
One redwood for one toothpick. That's fact.
Damn.
Make a little tiny log cabin out of the toothpicks, and then you can burn it in a little ceremonial thing. Take it back to the redwoods. Be like,
dude, just
bring it
imagine
back to your home.
It's like a 30-foot wide redwood by like 300 meters long. Just going through a sawmill, and one little toothpick comes at the other end. The perfect toothpick. It's like,
that'd be so funny. The guy picks it up with a little imperfection, tosses it.
Yeah. Cutscene to the fat guy at the restaurant.
Yeah, he's like, shitty. Fucking gets another one. Or gets 2, you know, just grabs 2 because he just has big fingers. Fucking drops one. It's just like, oh shit, just wasting them, you know?
It's like, those are made of gold, literally.
Dude, that's what Ferngully kind of reminded me of. When I remember the first time I went to the Redwoods, I was like, man, it's like Ferngully and shit. That's what I kind of thought it was when the guy's like spray painting all over the X's, which ones are going to cut. And it kind of was like that.
You talking about that old cartoon?
Yeah, the old school one. Because over there, when the ones they clear off, they spray paint and then just come in there, cut the tree down. The dude like pulls it through the woods. That's what I kind of thought. I'm like, they make a plank out of it for like one plank for one thing, you know? And it's like, oh my gosh. It's like, bzzz, and it's still bleeding from the paint. It made it seeped into its tree, you know, which is like, I mean, Ferngully was definitely trying to pull on some like BS kind of strings. Like, look at that, you touch a tree and you're murdering everybody, and it's like all that kind of stuff. And it's like, okay, kind of, but not necessarily like that, because that's what.
Well, technically, because a lot of like the undergrowth depends on that tree, like the fungus and the mushrooms and everything underneath it depends on that tree to bring in nutrients, so they can do like a little black market exchange underneath the ground. And if you cut the tree, you're cutting off everybody else.
But I depend on that tree more for this table. Or the oak table.
This table. I depend on this table.
Yeah, it's like, this is pure solid oak wood.
Just like that cabinet over there.
Even, no, I don't even know what the most common kind of wood is, too. And that's like a whole other thing, going back to the prepping stuff, like with the wood and like curing different woods and pulling stuff out.
Or just getting logs and planks ready for a house.
Think of how many times, too, you're like, yeah, I'm going to fucking chop, you know, you do some George Washington stuff. I'm going to chop down this cherry tree and just get out there or at whatever and start chopping it, and not get all the way through it, and then come back later and try and chop it down and do whatever. How many trees, or I'll even go as far as animals too, like into that movie Into the Wild, where he gets a moose, he finally shoots a moose. And, how many times will you go into getting a resource like that and fuck it up because you're not knowing what to do and like burn through resources? Like,
at least your first 3 times doing it.
I imagine that.
Unless you're dumb.
Because I'm even scared if getting a deer with all the skills and everything, even when you go out there, it's like, man, there's still that possibility of not being able to get it back and like fucking it up, or when you go to skin it, you hit its guts and then you fuck everything, like simple stuff.
Meat spoils.
Yeah, and you spread bacteria. Yeah, then another animal creeps in on you and you're fucked. Like, depending, on those areas. You watch a lot of those hunting. I like to watch the stuff with Chad Mendez, who's like a UFC fighter. He'll go hunt all random places. A couple of times he went up to Alaska. I think each time he's gotten one, the freaking bears had nibbled off part of his kills, and it's like, fuck, dude. Or the other, like a little tiny pack of coyotes or something will eat up as far as they can go, and you're like, well, it was half that, you know. And
did you hear something about like Alaska wanting to like break away from the U.S., become like the Alaska Independent or some shit like that?
No,
want to become their own country because they're bigger than like almost half the United States
by like themselves. Texas, we're a republic here,
but they can't though. That's law.
What, Texas?
Once you become a state in the U.S., you can't leave.
Texas can. They're a republic. They're not a state.
Can't.
Technically, they're not a state, dude.
Can't leave, dude.
Yeah, they can't.
Once there's a star stitched on
the
freaking
Alamo.
Once there's a star stitched on that
El Paso had
flag.
a big glowing star on the side of their fucking mountain. It was kind of weird, but it lit up. It's like, all right, they think they're the star, Lone Star State. All right, man. It's like, all right. Except for they weren't like that. There's nobody like that, cowboy-wise.
A lot of crackheads, though.
Mostly crackheads. Everyone there. I don't know if I was a good judge of Texas because it was, you know, really in a small little corner, barely right between. It's like 10 minutes to the New Mexican border. You know, maybe 10 minutes to the Mexican border, right there, and it's all kind of right in there. And so it's, I don't know.
Didn't you say you were like in the Devil's Triangle or something?
That's what they call the Devil's Triangle. Yeah, it's a shitty part of town. Even the guys were. I was like, this place is shitty, dude. I'm like, freaking El Paso's ghetto.
Was that?
The guy's like, man, just go across the street or like down the way to the Albertsons and stuff. And it's like, fucking, dude, you can't just go down the street. You know, it's like, the fuck is this? Yeah, just go a street light down. No, dude, it doesn't work like that. It's not even with gentrification in certain areas. You might think like that, but. Dude, it easily spills over, especially where he was talking, like, the Albertsons down the street, because the store we were going to was, like, shit, like, randoms over at the store, and he's like, the Albertsons down the street's, like, 10 times better. It breaks over onto when you're starting to get to the easier side of the triangle. No, it's the same. I'm like, it's like same shit.
You've got to go a couple miles away from that.
Yeah, you have to go. You have to literally like kind of go, because even though it does change, like, okay, I can see where maybe Albertsons puts a little more money into their store than the other store, and so it looks nicer, gives off the nicer appearance. They tend to try and kick the transients out, but it's still the same stuff. It's, you know, same neighborhood. The people are breathing the same air. That's what I thought was so funny is a lot of the workers and stuff are coming from Mexico, and everyone's kind of like stuck on the borders of the different places. But in that immediate area, it's basically, you know, Salt Lake size or whatever. They're all breathing the same air. They're all experiencing the same weather. The time is exactly the same for them in all the times, but they're just like a big old dirt line. It's really weird. You see the border out, and like with Juarez, when you go up on the hill at night, it's just so dense. Boom, on that side, just like all the lights, and then it's like this line where they have the border with nothing really, kind of lit up a little bit, and then kind of El Paso spread out throughout the rest of it.
Is there a fence there, or was it just a dirt road? Like, hey, this is Mexico.
There's a fence too, Texas. A dirt road and a fence. It was like a clearing kind of, and then just like I think it was two fences. We didn't really go that far close to it. We didn't really go that far in the city. We thought we'd hurry and get the work done, and we ended up being there like a few extra days and stuff like that. So,
did you see Border Patrol cars, like the white and green ones, driving around everywhere?
Yeah, there was a lot of them. But there's Border Patrol checkpoints when we went through Texas and like New Mexico, like randomly driving down the street. That shit was so annoying. Well, I mean, I guess they have to do it. It makes sense, but it was just dumb because they slow everybody down, stop you, pull you over. And it's like, are you guys citizens? They ask us. He's like, you guys citizens? We're like, yeah. All right, we'll drive off. Like, all right,
that's all.
The dogs were walking around the car. I was like, efficient. Allegedly, your dog's coming with shit. Fucking like,
you just have a little bit of Mexican food on you.
Yeah, dude. It's like, what are they? They're not sniffing for whatever they're fucking. Obviously, you must be sniffing for something different. And then it's oddly, well, after we left, because it was me and your brother, I'm like, well, that was racist, dude, because they didn't. I mean, technically, they didn't ask for IDs, nothing. Yeah, I'm like, we could easily have been an immigrant from another country, It's like, but instead, they're like, basically, the two people there that were right at the post probably only spoke Spanish. They wasn't like, they didn't have any people speaking Russian there or anything. I imagine, just in case they were trying to catch that kind of stuff. It was mainly there only for people on that border, and so. It makes, I guess, sense because they're like, come on, look, who do y'all think's going to come, blah, 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 through here, but. It's like, well, aren't you trying to be a border patrol, not just like a Mexican patrol or something? Is what it seems like. That
So they were
for one thing.
They were on the border between two U.S. states.
Yeah, so they're on the border right by
New Mexico and Texas, right?
And then a little bit into New Mexico, so just barely past it. And then there's like there's a bunch of border patrol stations for like the trucking, and a couple of them were closed. And then we went to the one that was like when we got to about New Mexico, they had closed down the road and funneled people in to go stop and talk to them, like kind of how. California has the what is it, agricultural checkpoints where they don't want you to bring seeds and shit or whatever. But I mean, they'll grow all the fruits and veggies anyways. I don't get what they're not going to have there.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I think it's just so they don't discriminate. You know, they don't want to be discriminating against nobody or nothing. So you can't.
Maybe they think they're going to try and break away when the time comes. We already have borders set up. California's seceding. We're doing our own thing. I think a lot of countries would like to try and do that, but that's so funny because, like, even if they were to do it, maybe the people they might get some things, but I don't see America not doing some shit like Russia did with Georgia. Like, they're doing some, you know, kind of living off, kind of doing their own thing. Then all of a sudden,
going to war with them because they wanted to secede?
Yeah, and then being like, okay, we're going to just come in here real quick and then just roll in there and pull over the powers, you know?
They did that to the South. The South's like, no, these are our laws and we're going to do them this way. And
what to think they're not going to do it now,
is
dude?
like, no, dude, you're going to follow our rules.
Like, I think they would easily do that for them right now. Especially yesterday I heard some weird shit, too, with the consulates, how Russia and America and Great Britain, like I think it was between Russia and Great Britain were having an issue where they had kicked out all their diplomats from the country, and so they kicked out all their diplomats, and then I think America was trying to intervene or like try and pick a side, and they kicked out their diplomats, and so then Russians kicked out their diplomats, and then they had a riot at the embassy, and so now that there's no U.S. embassy in Russia anymore, and so like they're all the ambassadors and diplomats had to leave. And it's like first time that this has happened in a really long time, and so people are like, this is kind of weird. So Great Britain and the United States, both the diplomats were pulled from Russia and there, but back and same with theirs both, so they don't have any diplomats between each other. I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting, you know. You go to wonder how you get an apocalypse, probably with some fucking World War III shit.
Well, on top of that too, I guess after the end of World War II, one of Japan's things they signed was that they couldn't have an offensive army. They just have the Japanese Defense Force, so they can only defend their mainland, right? So Japan's not allowed to build an army that can attack, but that's written in their constitution after World War II. They can't build an army that is large enough to attack another country. They can only build one to defend themselves. Now they're trying to change their constitution where they can build an army to attack another country.
Mm-hmm. It's only a matter of time, dude.
So they're
just phrase it counter-attack.
Yeah.
I know.
So now they're fixing up to change that. All this shit's going on in Europe, Russia, and the U.S. So, and then North Korea and South Korea are having issues where North Korea keeps launching bombs. I feel like we're heading towards another W.
That's why I always don't want to like talk about like the I guess conspiracy sides of it, but sometimes even with North Korea, it kind of like confuses me because I'm like, I almost feel like it's fake because and it sounds crazy and stuff, but it's funny we got these billionaires that are launching rockets and stuff into the air, doing all that kind of shit, and then North Korea apparently is over here shooting rockets into the air, not doing that well, and if I feel like that's a tactic if they really are doing it, and probably to make them look weak, but when really they're probably not, and or it being just a kind of a distraction where they're like, look at this weird thing, where there's actually something kind of maybe closed off right there for like testing different type of, I guess.
You mean like the U.S. is testing stuff over there?
Or maybe even like even Korea or Russia or whoever else, because I think that it could be. I think there's just like a handful of these people that are stuck there. So a lot of the people that are stuck working there, because people that visit there's all the fake cities. They have all the type of things. There's those snowboarders and professional snowboarders that went there to go skiing there and to try it out, and they're the only ones there because they have zero tourism, and they only have people just working the machines. They do it every day. They just let them go, but yet they went and did it, and they have kind of nothing going on, and then they have no resources, no anything there. So all the people that get the supplies and everything for North Korea, they are take it easy there.
The freaking microphone just attacked me, dude.
It's like it's Black Snake. Yeah, all the resources and everything that they get.
LSD kicking in, dude.
Dude, you fed it to the mic. It's getting contact high. It's like
Black Snake. Like, that's what they call me online.
The Black Snake. It just gets right up in your face. It's like,
came out of nowhere.
That's what you said.
You were saying something about North Korea.
You're saying how North Korea is the actual Area 51.
Oh, shoot. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because all the people that actually live there, all their camps and everything are in Russia. They live in, like, Siberia. They have, like, North Korean camps where they get the lumber, where they get the it's all the rocks, for their quarry and everything. And they have a railway that just goes from Russia into there. And that's where they get all the supplies because they're so small. They can't get a lot of that material and stuff there. And they have all that propaganda and doing all that stuff. And it just, with it being such a it could be a weird little tiny group of people, but for me, you let that shit go on for so long. It's like, why hasn't any country been like, this is crazy, this is like if it is a true thing, like, those people are basically, like, in an imprisonment, it's like an encampment, there's like some kind of, like, there's like some kind of human laws against that, right? Shouldn't we as people be like, people can't live like that?
Well, I think it's because China and Russia are using North Korea as a buffer zone between the allied countries, because China doesn't want any non-communist country bordering it.
Oh, I can see that.
So they're very contested, like with
like
India.
With Tibet, they're like, no, that's China.
Yeah, they contest it very often, so that's why they back North Korea, because they're like, they're our buffer zone between South Korea, because South Korea is very allied, you know. Same with Japan. They're like, we don't like these guys because.
Which is scary too, because actually now talking about the weird orders of the world, China recently had just that one their diplomat, whoever the fuck their president or whatever they call him there, whatever their leader is, the Shanghai dude, dynasty, whatever they call him, freaking he pulled off the I guess parameters that they had in place for them only being able to be in office for so long. So they had their term limit set up, and he removed it. And the last time that it was in play was with Mao. And then once China came, they had to prevent that. They put that in play. And now this guy's removed it, and now it can kind of continue his reigning thing for a lot of prosperity in China, but a lot of people think it's good. They really like him. He's a good leader. They shouldn't kick him out. But it really, in turn, it just switches it back to the old way of China more so than the new form of China. So it brings it closer back towards the time of Mao and all those kind of more impressive communist times. And so people are kind of weirded about it because they're like, well, if it's regression, how long until if it does go back to that time where
could
all of a sudden
easily be the next guy in power, right?
Yeah. Easily, because now if they know that's
this guy could be doing good and then he dies,
because he could be like fucking Putin, dude, just barely, becomes the leader of the country or whatever.
But China's been doing a lot better, right? Their air quality, their solar power, they're not killing as many babies.
I think they're trying to keep up too, because Taiwan, they're doing all the shit that they used to be doing, and now Taiwan's coming in as like how China was and taking their business, and fuck. And so now China's doing some even better shit, though, because all these people are talking about manufacturing products, and they're trying not to do it, but they're like the world leaders of manufacturing, and so they're trying to get all these clauses, and they pay almost as much money in lawyers to try and make sure that they aren't getting their products stolen, because China will just straight up take that, like the freaking gravity boards, the little fucking hoverboards. They had that shit manufactured in China, 0 patents and anything on that. 10 factories popped up later, they're all selling it times 10's better, and so they kind of made a monopoly of that, basically import-export business and shit, They're not going to let anyone handle that shit. What stops them, maybe, if they want to say they're controlling the Silk Road, or if they're like, why don't we fully control this kind of shit, dude? We gotta, we can start maybe reeling in, like Adam was saying, get rid of these, smaller countries like Taiwan. I imagine it's only a matter of time before they'll start calling it freaking New China. Like Tibet, they don't even call it, it's so not there. The whole area is totally different, and they're just like, yeah, you're China. Even Hong Kong, it's like a complete British territory. Well, I think they gave it back up, right? But it's like everyone there speaks English, and a lot of them don't even like the same areas that they have from Beijing, like the same political stances and stuff, and they think it should be divided into China. But the major China, which is like the communist ones, are like, no, dude. We're the leaders of the China, and they're like, all right, because they're pushing all that shit, So they're the ones that are like, well, no, you're China, you're not Tibet, No, we're gonna have a bunch of foot soldiers. We're gonna have the biggest foot soldiers, and we're gonna have these foot soldiers in your country. Taiwan's like, what the fuck? I guess, right? Next thing you know, it's like.
I just think it's crazy that, during World War II, after the Allies won the battle, all the guys that were taken over, like Japan and Germany, they're doing great now. Seriously though, you think about it, they're doing really good.
Germany, which could be AKA the Nazis, try to take control of Europe, and then you just wait a few 20 years, and then the EU comes in, and then he's kind of become a leader of the EU, and they basically fucking control fucking Europe.
Yeah, they took. They're like, let's not take it with aggression this time. We're going to take it with peace and flowers. And guess what? Now
and badass engineering. They're like, see, we have
now
really
they own
good
it.
stuff.
They seriously do. Which is kind of crazy because Bosnia is still not part of it, and they never were. Like even when Nazi Germany came in, they're like, "All right, you guys are either gonna let us take everything, or we're just gonna take it from you."
Oh.
Bosnia and Yugoslavia is like, "Nah, you could try to take it from us."
Yeah, that's a weird area, man. That's the whole thing. How it all kind of got broken up is weird because I listened to that Nikola Tesla book. It's funny because at the time, he was older, so when he comes, he's like, I'm a Serbian from Herzegovina. When you're like, wait a minute, those are two different places now, and kind of even people will be like, they're totally different people and all that stuff, but it's like, not really, It was like only a few years ago they got ripped to pieces, and it's like they're the exact same, basic. Well, I mean, besides different beliefs and different stuff, but it's like, dude, one giant country that's super prospering, does really well, and then a couple little wars, but 20 years later, and it's like,
tore apart.
Oh no, you're 10, 15 different countries, and you're like, what the fuck?
So is it stubbornness between the people?
Fuck, maybe. I would say
it's a lot of different things. I think it all started with the Ottoman Empire, honestly, coming in and fucking everything up. But then again, it's just a huge mix of different people, from the Slavic people from the northeast and Germanic people from the west, and then the Ottoman Turkish people from the southeast. Everybody just kind of coming in, mixing in together, and then there's 3-4 different religions there, and they all just kind of give your bigger religion from the west,
don't like
bigger
your
religion
kind.
from the north, bigger religion from the east, and then in the middle you've got everyone kind of smushed into like a melting pot. And
in the history, one thing, that's what I found, it goes so much deeper, so I think it makes it that much harder. So the roots are that much more ingrained, where they have that culture there where it's been like this forever, where you go like Russia and Ukraine, where they're they come in there to take, not Chechnya, what was that city over there?
Kiev?
Not Kiev. There was the water area, Crimea. So in Crimea, where it's kind of where the Black Sea was, where they kind of had the port and everything, where they actually have ships. That's where everyone kind of wanted. America can't really have bases over there, so everyone kind of wanted to have something there so they can have ships and stuff. But of course, Russia wanted it because they didn't want to make sure that no one else could go in there, and so they had the war in source. So that's ours, and that's why all the Ukrainians were kind of just flipped over, and they were like, "Yeah, know your history." But that was the thing that kept coming up when people were asking about, you got to know your history. This is Russia. Even though she's Ukraine, this is Russia. So you look at these people like Uzbekistan or Belarus, all these places, and they're all they're all different countries. But you talk to them, no, or Russian.
Imagine if China did that.
It's Russian because it's all Russia, at the time. And China's kind of doing that, but it's the opposite. Is where I feel like all the people that aren't Russian in Russia want to be Russia, and all the the people that are outside of China, they're trying to be outside Chinese culture, but they are.
What I think is weird is Google actually allies with each country. So let's say
I'd heard about that.
So let's say you're Russia and you're China. If I'm on Google Earth in China, when I look at the border's drawn different than if I'm in Russia and I look at the exact same border. It's drawn different. So people from Russia will be like, no, look at the line on Google Maps. It's right here. You're in Russia. But if you go into China on your VPN or IP and you look at it, no, that's China. To the same exact maps, different borders.
Which is another kind of crazy thing with that VPN, because I just finished one. Another book I finished was The Double Cup of Love. It was a little biography of Eddie Wong, where he was kind of, I guess, wanting to go back to China, in his homeland, to learn a bunch of the food and stuff there, because he was an American-born Chinese, and he felt like he lost a lot of the culture, and he's a chef, and he's like, I want to go learn food there, old Taiwanese food and all that kind of stuff.
You mean Chinese-born American?
Yep, yeah. Okay. And so he wanted to go do that stuff, and while he's there, he's learning all about the different kind of ways that they're going about how they live daily life, and so you can kind of get a feel for it. And everyone there is saying shit they can't do anything, they can't get any music, they can't do any of that kind of stuff. To do anything, they have to get VPNs. And he's like, VPN? Everyone's like, VPN? What is a VPN? And dude, you got to get a VPN. He's like, because you can't use any of the internet, China's internet here. You use China's Facebook, and he was saying that. He's like, dude, this is weird. I can't get anything on my Facebook. And you can't be on China's Facebook, dude. You got to get a VPN so you can get on the real Facebook, because they have all that whole thing set up where they're like, no, you if you were to use China's normal
is it illegal?
internet, Yeah, a lot of stuff. If you were to type in Tiananmen Square, the search results would be like, they'll say 0. You know, like almost half the people there don't even know about that little incident where that guy is like standing in front of the tank, and they control so much more of the media, you know. And he'd even joked about that with people who were like, we love your show, we watched it on Vice, you know, we love watching Fresh Off the Boat on Vice, or that show from Vice. Well, he's from Vice, and he was like, yeah, that show, and he ended up talking to one guy, and he's like, yeah, I watch it every Sunday on the Travel Channel. And he's like, what the fuck? We never sold it to Travel Channel. And he's like, that's some bullshit. He's like, I'm going to get a hold of my lawyers. We did not sell it to the Travel Channel. And he's like, let me see it. And then he's like, this ain't Travel Channel. He's like, this is Chinese Travel Channel. And he's like, we never syndicated this in China. He's like, they stole this. He's like, this is on TV. And he's like, yeah, this is TV. We pay for that. And he's like, they put it on a bootleg version of the Travel Channel, and it's fucking playing on their average TV, you know. And it's like, it's a whole different ball game for them. And you forget because people be like, oh, you can't do that here, you know. Oh, there's lawyers here. They
did it with our podcast.
Yeah, sure.
They had Chinese voiceover actors.
It was pretty good. They had a really handsome dude for me, like, which is weird.
They used Jackie Chan for me. It's like
lies. Jackie Chan were from me.
Yeah, they used Jet Li.
They used Jet Li.
Which is interesting though, because you know,
Brian's like, it's weird. They used Will Smith for me.
We love Kobe Bryant. They use Kobe Bryant.
Oh shit! Or Dennis Rodman going back to North Korea. Do they like Kobe and stuff like that?
Oh, he used to be the top selling. He used to be the top selling fucking jersey there.
Isn't he Chinese or something like that? Because I thought his dad was in a military. Italy, that's what it is. I was like, yeah, he was born somewhere else. Or
speaks
something.
really good Italian.
I was like, that's pretty crazy.
Spaghettios.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. You know, born on a military base in other countries, and you're kind of like, oh shoot, all right, you know. And they're like, you'd feel like you're probably Italian or whatever, but they're like, no, you're American. Well, what do you mean? Because you're born on this dirt, but it's in Italy. But this squares Americans. What?
Well, they actually fly out dirt from America
and place it
before they build the base.
It's funny, you talk to other people too.
That
they'll
could
be, like,
be believable, dude.
What do you mean? That's fact. Have you not seen that Vice?
There's no way they fly out dirt.
April Fools.
Burn.
I know they did it. Didn't they do it in the Middle East?
I know they did for the beaches and stuff.
I'm sure there's some skeptic that took his own dirt and he stands on it every morning before he goes battle. I'm on American
In Saudi
soil.
Arabia they did, but it was Chinese. They pulled in all the Chinese, and they made it for those like weird things. Remember you telling me about that? You're like, this is Chinese sun, bitch. You want to pay for this? Yeah, and they're like making all this, because they made all the islands out of them and stuff like that, and they'd been trying to get sand and stuff like that, and then pouring in white sands from there.
Yeah, but I know they did it in the Middle East too with the U.S. soldiers fighting in Iraq or in Kuwait or whatever. They brought in U.S. dirt and U.S. sod and laid it out so that in the morning they could walk on it. So they're walking on American soil.
I just figured out what China's trying to do. They're the biggest manufacturer, so they can create all the little trinkets and trunkets that people buy all over the world that they throw away, that becomes dirt.
Chinese soil.
And it becomes Chinese soil. Give it, 50 more years, and we'll all be walking on Chinese soil.
Oh my god, yeah, they're way for like their total control.
It'll be like a 23andMe thing where you have to send your dirt, see if you're actually on American soil. You send it, nope, you're getting deported.
See, I think it will be like that, because I was joking about the people with the 23andMe. I'm like, fucking everybody's everything now. Yeah, people, like all the racist people, get their 23andMe, and they're like, fuck, I'm 5% Mexican, dude. What the hell?
God damn it.
And 4% freaking Zimbabwean or whatever. Oh, my hell, dude, I ain't pure. And they're like, you dirtbag, where'd you come in from? You know, my father was a Dutch trader. Oh, my God, my aunt was from Yemen.
I knew when I said the N-word, it felt just wrong.
I felt like I was offending myself.
Yeah, I felt like it hurt. Because and think of that. So we already like spread out like this. I feel like we're gonna get to the point with people talking about the space races. You know, people think that the first person to actually get a kind of a weaponized anything in space is pretty much going to start controlling. They'll control space and they'll probably control the Earth after that. I feel like it'll move into areas like that where it might be China's all of a sudden becomes that's basically like the monopoly, you know, so they are the Walmart. They have everything. They have all that stuff. Fuck, we gotta get that shit from China. Gotta do that. And all of a sudden, slowly, countries will kind of pull up their thing to create that, the fewer dominance pieces, you know. So there'll be fewer big
China
players.
will be the alcohol and vinegar maker.
Yeah, pretty
the
much,
United States will be the Leatherman. You know?
Steel. Because of Donald Trump. He's like, we're bringing America's steel back.
Coal.
Yeah,
coal and steel.
I heard something? Donald Trump, did he like bail out or donate a bunch of money of his own money to bail out some kind of organization in the government? That's what I heard.
Don't know. I could believe it though.
Shit like that he funded something of it or out of his own pocket.
Wasn't it?
He probably
the
tried
X-Files?
to say that. That was me. I paid for that myself with my own money.
You're welcome.
It's taxpayer money. I pay taxes, so it's mine, right? Well, he probably doesn't pay taxes, right? That's his thing.
There's a loophole.
Lose his taxes.
If you make $1 million a month, you don't got to pay taxes. It's like churches.
Dude, that's what I thought. I thought I was going to have to pay a lot of taxes, and then I went to get my taxes done, and the best way I can describe it is like Jay-Z. At first I went in there, and I'm like, man, I'm a businessman. No, I'm a businessman. So you got to I like qualify myself as a business, save my ass so much fucking money. I guess like doing a little bit different through like my because they're doing it, I guess, through photography and then with all the different like
gas mileage and
doing all like everything you kind of
write off.
Yeah, you save it all kind of in the long run, and so it's kind of nice because in the other way when you're just like just part of the business, man, you know.
Oh, how nice for you.
Yeah, not really, dude. But yeah, I guess it is because one of the people, the taxman, I've showed him how to get his fletching up. I was like, you get a piece of glass like this. I was like, and he's like, perfect. That's worth more in value than it is in worth money value. That was like $1 million I'm in debt to you, good sir. And then ever since then, his family's been sending me nude stuff. But
nudes?
Yeah, nudes. I'm like, send nudes.
Damn.
April Fools.
April Fool? No, is it really April Fool's Day?
Yeah, today's the 1st, dude. It's Easter. So today, Jesus... Oh my God, now I finally get that, dude. Jesus rose from the dead today, and then, of course, April Fools.
Yeah.
Right? And now it goes.
That's how it was invented, right?
Yeah.
April Fools.
Dude, because everybody, like, when I was in El Paso, took the day off, because I guess Catholic and all those people, they all take Friday, Saturday
you were
off.
in El Paso yesterday on April 1st, and you traveled back in time?
Mm-hmm. No, I was there yesterday.
Today.
I got back in this morning at like 4 or 5 in the morning. What is it? Well, in the afternoon now, but yeah, it was kind of a long little bit. But dude, over there, everyone like took Friday off, they take Saturday off, and then it comes, I forget, Good Friday, and then so it's for Easter. You got Good Friday, which is Friday, and then Saturday is Passover, and then Easter Sunday. Got your 3 days. Summer solstice, the spring equinox is kind of going on right now. And back in the Old Testament, Jesus was murdered and died, and 3 days later rose on Easter, which is a thing. And also, it's April Fool's Day. It's like, fucking dude, we're like just crazy monkeys that make up whatever fucking things that like make sense. Yeah, that's close enough,
the
dude.
round Earth.
Yeah, the round Earth. That's an interesting one. I'd like to do more stuff on that, but the best judge that I follow is people, I guess, on the fringe thing when you feel like they say follow your intuition or whatever. When I had done mushrooms, every time I do mushrooms, dude, I feel like it's a fucking globe. I feel like the way when you describe it, when you like think of yourself floating on a rock or spinning on a rock instead of like on a coin or whatever.
Or is it your eyeballs?
It could be maybe the bouncing of that, or maybe it's the dome, the reflection of the dome that we're stuck in or whatever. But it feels like you feel almost like you're a fucking rock in space. You feel like, especially, I get that. I mean, that's another thing that's interesting with the space stuff, because when I look up at the stars, especially because last night we were driving and it was so bright, it was a full moon basically, and it was funny. I was cracking up your brother and stuff. I was like, dude, we're using the moon's charge right now. It's like giving us energy, like fucking charging our rocks or whatever. Because people charge their rocks under the moon and stuff like that for the good energy. Because I mean, if you use a half moon, you're just only getting half battery life.
Dude, I just can't. I could just see them walk out their backyard and gathering up their moon stones that they had charging overnight.
Yeah, they're so weird.
Just holding on to them like, I can feel the power.
He's like, yeah, I wouldn't. He's like Amber's tucking his necklace in. Yeah.
These guys are weird, dude. I would never recharge my moon rock.
He's got all of his pocket rocks right now. He rubs on them.
His moon,
that's just
moon
loose
butt
coins.
plug.
I think we were talking about last time, but that's the one thing that got me is because when the lady was like telling it was my mom or my brother. He has my mom, my brother, and my one cousin, and they're super into it. And we were at Dancing Crane, and all of them were like just like going through them, and the lady's like, and this one's good for this, and the amethyst is good for this one, and all that kind of stuff. And I was just like, which one's the bad ones? And she's like, what? And I'm like, where do you stash the bad ones? And I'm like, what if I want to give someone a bad rock because they're an asshole? And she's like, there's not any like that here. And I was like, oh, that's convenient. You just fucking find all the rocks with the good energy, and that's how we were talking about. It's like, what is that? You got a fucking witch's tit. Take that off, dude. That rock is
the witch's nipple.
Yeah, there was a part of freaking New Mexico we were driving down the road, and there's all this like black rock just sticking out of the ground, and it was weird. It was in weird piles, and plants were kind of growing on it, and it was like this weird looking black rocks, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Because we were going kind of fast, and it was all along the freeways and shit like that, and it was just kind of all over the place, and I'm like, this is weird. This is like lava. We're like in a freaking area where there's lava, and we kind of started getting to an area where we were slowing down, and finally got a good look at it. It was asphalt. Fucking, they just ripped up all the old freeway and just dumped it on the side, and over time it kind of grew over and it made it look weird. I'm like, they just dumped their trash there. So as far as, I don't want to rip on New Mexico, but holy shit, dude, people in New Mexico must just walk out the door and fucking throw their trash on the ground. Everything is covered in trash. Everything is like, this looks the same. Everything is like dirty. I don't want to rip on people, but I mean, everything, they don't like, I don't feel like anybody cares to have like houses or take care of any of their stuff, because everything's in kind of like huts, trailers, houses, or mobile home houses, the ones that you can buy and sit down and stuff. Nothing's like kind of permanently made. All their vehicles, nothing's parked. I'm like, I would build a fucking awning and park my vehicle in the shade at least. You know, none of that stuff. You know, everything. There's no weeding is done, and everything is covered in trash, and it's crazy. I felt like people just walk out and throw their shit out. It's almost the same with El Paso. Maybe because it was really windy or something. But we would just duck off into one little area right by a park, because we didn't really go that far. There's only a little park that was right there. It was like Sue Young Park or something. And trash everywhere. Fucking everywhere. I'm like, this is weird. Like, so I'm like, this is ghetto. And all the guys are like, dude, fucking, you're in the bad part of El Paso. And I'm like, dude, we drive through it. This whole area, it all seems the same. Unfortunately, a lot of the area we were driving through was Navajo territory, or Navajo reservation stuff.
Now you're going to be flagged for being an asshole.
Well, no, so we're driving through a lot of the area, you know, and a lot of it is just they don't have that much of it. And then the only nice stuff, like, it looks like where all the money goes, is to the casinos. You know, and they're the ones that are probably making the most money, and they have all the cool stuff. But I just found that so weird, where they get this whole territory, and it's kind of like zero quality kind of gets put into it, except for the areas where, like, it's almost like a selfish quality. All of a sudden, boom, you know, you get this big old casino, and you get this stuff, and it's so weird, you know, because it's only 10 hours, a few hundred miles and stuff, but seeing the change from, like, Salt Lake just to there, it's crazy. Like, it is like different people, even though it's like one whole thing. And that's where it's funny, where you could be like, well, shit, if you want to say we're all different, we'd be different, I imagine, per, like, actually terrain, city you live in. So I'd imagine I would call like Juarez, El Paso, and I think it's Los Lunas or something that's kind of right there by New Mexico, all the same. I'd be like, that could be a country. Because then if you go up to like Salt Lake, Salt Lake, that's a different country. They're different types. But then realize when I look at it in the grand scheme of things, it's like, oh, you know, everyone says the same jokes, everyone wakes up the same day, wipes, pisses, does the same thing, everything the same, gets hungry, gets mad, whatever happens, and that kind of stuff. But yet, I don't know, it's just weird. It was a different thing. Like, Salt Lake is so, like, it's a mentality so much cleaner and different, and maybe picking stuff up, but it's like weird. Just small, subtle things that was like made it seem so different. But desert, it was everything the same. Desert life, you know. I mean, sage, everything was sagebrush. If it was up higher elevation, I'm sure it would snow there. It's so weird. And people,
I want to say that you sounded like you really enjoyed it there. But I think
you might be going back soon.
Yeah, I think I might be a
I'll go back to do some other stuff, but I'll get Airbnb that time. It'd be better. We stayed at a
that's where
garbage
someone's
motel,
fucking
dude.
Trailer with garbage all around it.
Well, El Paso's got some nicer areas into the things, but I mean, I didn't mind. That's why I didn't bring any of my stuff, but I wouldn't mind like kind of just getting there and doing some work. But I would rather have just got paid a little bit more money and get a nicer hotel or something else, because the motel was hella ghetto. It was like staying on State. I imagine it was like being on State Street, dude. Being at one of those fucking El Tempe temple on fucking State Street over there. Those haggard motels. That's what it reminded me of. And so we were on one of those, and there was like some crazy lady next door.
Did you guys boil your sheets before you slept in them?
Fuck, Denny brought a sleeping bag, dude, and I like.
Well, that's smart. Went
and got clean sheets from the place. Cause I'm like, can I get another pair of sheets? And then, yeah, and so I just like tucked them in there, but I fucked up, dude. There was a fucking cockroach in there, dude. When I first walked in, I'm like, oh shit, dude, bam, we got friends. It was like a little less one.
Wait, so was that a person? His name was Cockroach, or was there an actual bug running around?
Dude, there was a guy that we were talking over. I guess you could say, because the only reason we stayed there, I'm like, you couldn't even fucking pay me to stay there, but someone did, and that's why we fucking stayed there. I'm like, god damn it! And so that we were like, it was already paid for and everything, and it was kind of, I feel like, a scam. Really, they totally lie about the whole thing that's set up there. And we were talking with our boss or whatever, because gotta not name names. I always do that and stuff. People sometimes.
Yeah, keep the names on the down low.
So we're over there and we're hanging out in his room down the way, right? And so this guy comes zooming by on a Huffy, one tire flat.
Your boss was staying in the same motel?
Yeah, like a few down. And then your brother.
That's pretty cool of him.
Was like smoking a cigarette outside, and the guy comes by and he's like, hits the brakes, and he's got a flat little Huffy, rolls up back. Hey man, you guys got a torch? Then he's like, no. Oh fuck. He's like, get the fuck out here, you know? And well, he didn't say it like that. He's like, no, dude. And he's like, oh man, all right. Well, nothing else like that. Nothing like that. It'll heat up like that. No. And it's like, all right. Rides off and stuff like that. And there's a lady that was there. She's like crazy lady. She comes outside. Well, first Denny's seen her sitting against looking in his car. She's like staring at his window of his car.
The Denny's car?
Yeah, it was like in the I don't know, maybe 7, 8 in the afternoon, closer to night. So it was daytime still. He's like biddy. Starts honking. She's like looking around. He's like biddy. Still honking. She's like still looking around. And he's like right behind her. He's like it. She's like starts pointing at some other car, talking like gibberish. And she's like and like goes inside, walks off, goes inside. And we're like, okay. And then we'd seen her yelling and shit before, and she went out to like a streetlight across the way at this abandoned like big K that was over there, and would just be yelling at the streetlight and shit. And she even came in one time. She's like, I will shoot you.
Damn. To the streetlight?
Yeah. Or like, and I thought she was talking about Jesus and all that kind of stuff, but Denny and I were trying to think of why a lot of these people there, because there's a bunch of like, how the fuck are these crack? Well, there's a guy that is right next to the other room. The guy was fucking holding the sign on the side of the road. And it was because like our boss was like, dude, check it out. He's like, he's doing it. We're like, no. We went and got some stuff. He's like, look, that's the guy. And just really down the street, there was a guy holding the sign, smoking a cigarette. It was the dude that was right there next door.
Holding what sign?
Fucking a sign, please help, homeless, blah, blah, blah. Fucking was at the motel that we were staying at. He was like right next door. And then last night we were there when we were leaving, fucking the ambulance came to pull out his fucked up wife or whoever crackhead whore that was there. She's like, we thought she was dead, dude. I thought, I'm like, the way the ambulance came, I'm like, oh, dude, there's a dead person there. And the guy's, because he's like running weird in and out of his room. Like, what is this sketch doing? And it fucking, the ambulance and everything comes and drops down the little thing, and the lady comes out. She's like staggering, like trying to grab her. She's like, oh, they put her on the chair thing. I'm like,
she's fucking patient zero, dude. Just sounds like a zombie to me.
I was like, oh my god, this place, dude. And then just the whole place is just garbage, you know.
You just got a shit end of the stick
on that, but they totally do not like advertise it as a lot of that stuff. And then being at the time, they advertise sometimes more extended stays. That's how come I think some of the people did it.
What was their review rating?
It was like a 3 or something. I'm gonna give them a 1. I got some pictures of some stuff, dude. That is like that's incriminating, dude. I'm like, wait till I'm gonna post that, because no one has photos of that place on there. There's kind of the ones that were put on there by Travelocity and stuff, because not many people had reviewed it. And I was like, wait
till I post my fucking friend, the cockroach.
Because I put a lot of Google reviews on there and stuff, like a lot of the photos
in the corner of the room.
Yeah, dude. I have a picture of it up on a wall.
Of the cockroach?
Yeah. A little tiny one, dude. Yeah. And so I was like, that one.
Where there is one, there are many.
It's so funny. No one posted photos. I'm like, oh, dude. And I was telling your brother, I'm like, I'm going to get... That was funny. I'm going to get the most unappealing photos. And so I went around and took the most fucked up photos, dude. Because I'm like, it's easy. I know how to take good photos, you know, so I can take a good photo. And also, in order to take a good photo, you know, I take a fucking bad one. So I was like, dude, yeah, there's like darts. Like, someone put an old dartboard on our door, and like we're fucking throwing darts at it, and so there's a bunch of holes in the door. And then there's like big old fucking slash in it, like someone stabbed a fucking knife through it. And so the locks were already busted off, like someone fucking kicked it open or some shit. And during the day, when you look through the slit, if you look through just that, and there's 2 peepholes, so one of them got fucked up, so there's another one in there. And all the blinds are busted for like crack whores probably peeking through. And if you just look at the certain time of the day in the morning, the fucking light comes through the door. So I was like, take a photo with just the light glaring through, so you could see, like, yeah, there's a fucking slash hole in the door. You know, it's like goes all the way through, and I mean the carpet smelled like piss. Everything was like stained. It was.
But did you
disgusting.
take a picture of the crackhead lady getting wheeled off into the ambulance?
I took a picture of the ambulances. Yep, that front.
That's a good one, dude. That's a good one.
I was like fucking average, dude. I wish I could give them 0 stars, minus stars. Even the customer service was garbage there, dude. Because when the housekeeping, they'd stolen shit from the other guy, and then said that they didn't, and your brother put a test in, and they stole that money out of there. We're like, oh my god, they're stealing that shit. When they came in, apparently to clean or whatever, they took our towels, and so I went over there and to tell the lady, can we have more towels or whatever? And she's like, well, they cleaned your room. And then I'm like, no, they didn't. And they look at the thing, and oh yeah, they didn't clean it. They don't clean today. I'm like, fucking convenient, shitty place that doesn't fucking clean their rooms ever.
You know, and I'm still come walking through your room looking.
Yeah, and they still come in there and get shit. You know, and that's like the thing when they never stole anything. They never stole anything. But yet they go into a place on camera. they're not cleaning anything, so they entered the room.
So if you set up your GoPro,
would be gone.
Well, Denny and I were looking at fucking nanny cams while we were there. Have you seen those things?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, dude.
Nanny cams?
Oh my god! I'm buying already a couple. I already know they have fucking coat hangers. They're the sticky ones, like Scotch ones you hook on there. A little tiny dot. A wall charger that you plug into. USB wall charger. Camera. Fucking smoke detectors. Cameras. Fucking clocks. Cameras. Light bulbs have cameras in them, dude. I was like, what the fuck? Like everything has cameras. It blew my mind. I was like, because I started checking. I'm like, I bet they have cameras in here, dude. You could easily have them.
No, they can't afford them there. You kidding
They're
me?
like $20, dude. They're so cheap, the nanny cams. It blew my mind, dude. I'm like, this is
you already
creepy.
buying some?
I want to. I have a couple on my wish list on my Amazon.
On my wish list. Someone buy them for me.
I know. Come on, dude. Hey, anyone out there, dude, go to the Amazon link. Go on my wish list. Buy me some nanny cams. Buy yourself some nanny cams, dude.
So there's a coat hanger one?
Yeah, it's like a stick-on coat hanger, so it looks like a little coat hanger. And right on top, there's a little tiny dot, and that's the camera. You can stick it on any wall. They have clocks. Looks like normal clocks.
Okay, a coat hanger. Okay, I thought you were talking about the actual hanger thing.
It is. It's an actual hanger like this. It's like a piece of plastic. Those ones that you'd like pull off the Scotch thing, stick it on the wall.
No, he's saying that he thought it was the thing you slide your shirt on that you hang up.
Yeah, like
a hanger.
thing that goes like through your neck,
on the shirt.
whole thing on the shirt.
They could easily do that, I bet, dude.
That's what I thought it was.
I had seen some that because I told your brother about it. I'm like, man, this lady I used to work with, she had went to get some. She's like, my boy wanted to get some for his drone, so I got him a drone camera, and I was like, what the fuck? It was like a pen, because they make pen ones, basically a pen. They make a camera you can sit right here in your shirt, and the little top of the pen's a camera. Those. And they're like 1080p, and so she's like, holy crap, this is so good. So she wanted to like play, I think, a joke on somebody in her house and stuff. So she got a couple nanny cams with the dolls, and there's no way you can tell with a teddy bear. Like 100%, you'll never tell, and it's a pretty good camera.
It's like in its eye or something.
Yeah, and it's like the only way you even see it is because it's kind of light, like got the little holes in it, barely in there.
Right, huh?
Oh yeah, even then it would be tricky, and so you see it, and it was like, or even like one of them was like a little dot on a button and just blends right in. You're like, oh, and so we started pulling them up. Man, dude, they put a camera in everything. And this how small, especially the wall charger one. So it's just like, it looks like a normal wall charger, the one you get, you plug the USB part in for any wall phone thing. So just like that little white iPhone thing that's right there, that's it. That's the size of it. And it's got a little tiny dot on it. So if you plugged it in a wall, someone plugged their phone in, which, if it's right by their bed, fucking sitting there and put a little... Dude, you'd hear everything. You'd see everything. They have ones that are like light bulbs that you put right in, and it's got a little tiny black dot. And if you look up, it's on. You can't see it.
What would you do with those nanny cams?
Put them in fucking my motels and shit like that, dude. I'd love to do that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay. So like if you go vacationing,
stick one in there and see what's going on there. Put a weird coat hanger.
What if you come back and your fucking charger's gone? AKA nanny cam. They fucking took your nanny cam.
They're not going to take your
But you
light
never
bulb.
know. You never know.
I guess, you could put a light bulb in there. But what if they
smoke detectors and
what
stuff?
if they walk in the room and they're like, holy shit, that's a brand new light bulb. What do they do? Take out your light bulb.
That's what they might do, because that's what I was funny, because we were wondering if the smoke detectors had batteries in them. I'm like, I guarantee that. I'm like, it's not flashing at all. I'm like, I guarantee if any crackheads lived here, they're gone. They fucking scammed those batteries out of everything in here. Anything useful, crackheads took. And so we were in there. I'm like, dude, you could easily like just do that, or like you're saying with some of the lights, they were looking weird. I'm like, they could probably maybe they think that and be like, I'm gonna steal the light. But the crazy thing about the light is it's right at the bottom, and it looks like the Philips kind so it looks more like the good kind, so you'd know where it's got the white bottom. But when you screw them on and turn them on, when you look up at them, at least on the picture, you can't see it because it's like a bright light, So I'm like, dude, like the shit that like. Because then I started doing spy cams, and it's basically the same stuff. Because I was like, well, they have spy cams on there? Which, of course, they do, Because one of the other things that's in my little listing was, like, lockpick kits and stuff. Because they have ones where they can send you see-through ones, like see-through lock. So you can, like, practice doing it. It's so fascinating to me, that kind of stuff. And they send you all these, like, little kits where you can just learn how to do all that stuff. And then just right off Amazon, someone gets it. This is, like, my childhood, thinking of all this stuff being like that. Oh, my goodness, I can... hidden camera spy stuff, my spy gear, all that kind of stuff. Now it's basically reality. Easy.
Night vision goggles.
Yeah.
Dude, you can buy some crazy night vision stuff. Trust me, I've been looking at that.
It's funny, I remember one time my uncle we used to work for the police department, when I was younger, my mom lost her dogs or whatever, they went out and they ran off, and so she was like freaking out, and we're trying to find them and all the things, and my little cousin really likes animals. She's an animal lover, and at the time, she was maybe like 12 or something, 10, and fucking she like got my uncle's like night vision goggles, and her and my aunt came over and stuff, and like, we're gonna go around the neighborhood and look, like, go check out for the dogs and stuff in the night vision, because it's funny, you get like this thing covers open your whole face and then like one little tiny tube right there. But it was crazy, dude, looking through the night vision stuff. I'm like, this is crazy. Because even just looking down the street, you know, everything just looks different. It kind of sticks out different, too. And I'm like, oh, man. I'm like, just looking for anything moving. I'm usually like seeing a bird, like a little bit. Oh, what's that? You know, and, dude, it was a trip, dude. And then think about that shit now. Basically, I'm imagining maybe on that cat phone, or I'm sure they're probably getting apps now. Because when I was at McDonald's on freaking Colorado, the guy was like, hey, because I had my phone out, and he's like, I gotta tell everyone this is tripping it out. Look at our artwork through the photo. So I'm like, what? Everything's this pixelated. Look at it. You look at just a regular camera, the way it's pixelated on a camera phone, it makes it 3D. I'm like, what the fuck is this, dude? Living in the Matrix or some kind of form of alternate reality, you know?
So, like, looking through your phone, without looking through your phone, it just looks like what?
Pixelated version of the photo.
And then you pull up your camera. You don't even have to record or play or take a picture.
Yep, just have the camera open on your screen.
You look through it, and it becomes a 3D image.
3D image. It pops out a little bit. Almost more like HD, like popping out. Because when you look at it, it's kind of blurry because they're really, really small little squares. Is it like one of those
pictures where you have to start off real close and slowly move back?
Oh, no. It's a little more. You can see it a little better.
Oh.
Those are a trip, dude. Think about that when they start setting up weird things like that in your phone where you start doing that. Because... just barely today. I mean, you guys can open it up now. When I was on the way coming here, we were looking for different stuff. It's April Fool's Day, so Google's got this thing open because they're trying to do locations now as well. Where now I've come to find out why they let like Snapchat and all these places do like, oh, show your location, track your location, because they're tracking you, and the only way to make it legal is they have to offer it for everybody. Mm-hmm. So they're recording and tracking all your whereabouts, and the only way they can make it legal is by allowing everyone to use it. Google's doing the same shit now, so they're fully on tracking our every layabouts. And so that you can allowed to share your location, so it's a new thing. And so they're kicking it off. Today is one of the days. So in order to help with the location thing, they have a bunch of different stuff where you can find Waldo. So they have Waldo in all these different cities where you can help track and learn different tracking things like that to show how you can use it to show your friends and learn different cities and look through stuff with the versions of where's Waldo in all the different cities. It's like, what the fuck, man?
Gotcha.
Yeah, there he is, you know, and it's like that. So for like April Fools, it does go to, looks like when you click on the areas where they are, when you look on the map, because you can kind of zoom through them all and look at the big grid of it. But when you actually click on where Waldo is, and when it's in Australia, it just pops open a weird, like, page-looking version of the old school Where's Waldo. So it's like the paper version, and you got the weird people inside, and it looks kind of interesting. But at the same time, it's like, where's Waldo? You know, they're doing it. And it's just like another add-on, a little thing for it, just to keep that technology so you're getting tracked. You're doing, and that's the other funny part too. Is say someone else does have that phone. If you get onto someone's track your iPhone, you easily got them tracked. You can find them wherever, you know.
Well, how the Fitbit does where you ran.
That's so true. Didn't they catch some murderer like that or some shit? Mm-hmm. That's it, dude. I don't even think about that one too, and that's like, it's so easy for them to do that. Because even with the tracker, like my brother, he can track me on the thing and stuff like that, and so he tracks me on like iPhone because we share locations and stuff like that. And I sometimes forget about it, but he's like even hitting, like says it like, oh, I see you're out of Texas, wherever you guys in New Mexico, because we've been driving or whatever. I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, that's right. You doing the tracker thing. I'm like, that's kind of nice because like say I picked up by the cartel and was in Juarez or some shit. And he'd be like,
or he just knows how long he can sneak through your room before.
Yeah, he's closing in, dude.
Shit,
gotta get the fuck out of here.
So the moral of the story is, if you're in El Paso, Texas, staying at a motel, you want to get yourself a nanny cam, and watch your shit because they're gonna steal it.
Dude, I bet.
2, you want to bring some roach repellent or Raid.
Raid, yeah.
Is Brooke's favorite, Raid, for those motels.
Dude, I gotta show it.
Maybe a sleeping bag and maybe one of those military beds that like lifts you off the ground. A cot.
Yeah, well, if I would have ordered that, like, because the Nights Inn was kind of one that was kind of pushing for us. I was like, oh fuck, we got played on that thing. You know, they tricked us. If it would have been like that motel, dude, I would have walked in and been like, we can't get a fucking refund. I'm out of here, dude. You can't switch a room for me. Mm-hmm. You're not switching me a room. This place don't have those kind of rooms, you know. It's like, especially they say it's cheap, you know. So they got the week thing. That's why I think it was appealing. So they're like, oh man, you know, when we can bring my workers in, I'll just pay a place. I need a place to stay, a week place. Oh, here we go. They advertise for a week. It's close by the job. Bam. And it was at a pretty low stars, but for individual days, it's like $50 or $70, you know. Mm-hmm. And then other places around are like $80, $90. If you do the week thing, I'm not sure what it is at the hotel. I think they still charge you the day rates. There, it's like $200-something bucks, so it's like $40 a day. So you get a little bit of a money break. So that's why it's even more appealing. That's why the boss is like, all right, fuck it, boom. And so we travel out there for that part. But at what it was, like, people are like, oh, well, it's cheap. Dude, it could have been $5. That's what I'm like, dude, you'd have to pay me to stay there, dude. And this was $5. It's not worth your money. It's not worth your money with the hassle that's around there, with what could happen to your shit.
Let alone, the $5 you lost.
Yeah, it's like, dude, and what else, because even your brother was like, I'm taking my shit just in case, dude, and we did it. So we loaded our shit in his car anyways for the fuck. So we really never unpacked our stuff from the bags.
Smart.
And that day, they came in, and I was
don't
like,
want to get caught slipping, dude.
And it was funny, too, is because when one of the parts that, even when I did it for a really long time, that I was like, no, man, you hit the 5, you got this, you did that, is I walked in first, too. So, like, I was, like, walked in the door first, and I'm like,
you're patient zero.
I was like, oh, it's gone, the money, and so then I was like, wait, did you grab that? Did you do that? Whatever. And he's like, I swear. I'm like, I do not have that. I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, you're the first one in here.
Where'd
he's like, how would I grab
on
it?
A counter or something?
Right. And he had like a little tiny shot glass thing, and it was like kind of sitting by the shot glass, but it was just on the table thing, just sitting there. But then our boss was like, well, dude, he's like, yeah, look at the doors. They put them on all backwards. And we're like, what? And he's like, showed us. And they were backwards. He like shuts the door. He takes his credit card. You can push them open with a fucking credit card because they're backwards. I was like, oh my god. He's like, because
that is fucking creepy, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I thought it could have been anybody.
Could have been anybody.
Damn.
But I was like, what the fuck, dude?
Some crackhead coming
in. Rubbing their asses on your pillow.
Well, the first night, dude, we turned on the shower and like instantly, like
black water came out.
And it starts clogging up. I think Denny was going to get in there. He's like, and I was like, fuck, dude, I need to wear my shoes in here and everything, so I'm not trying to catch a fungus. Got my flip flops and. Starts filling up with water. I'm like, I'm fucking guys. I'm not taking a shower. The first night, dude, me and Denny like stood on the edge of the showers because I'm like, I'm not letting that thing fucking touch my feet. And so I like stood on the edge of the shower and just like showered that way and then got down. Because, dude, I mean, it's one for being in the dirty shower, but then like having it fill up past your ankles with dirty water from inside there, and it didn't go down at all. And so like the next day it was still like that. And then we had told the guy or whatever, and it was something funny ass, like just looks like some random scrub too. He's like a maintenance dude. He walks by. He's like, they said your thing's clogged. He walks in there, he's like, oh, fuck, dude. And then he's like, that's what I was saying, dude. And he's like, fucking place, dude. Fucking place. And he like just left, dude. And we came back and it was unclogged or whatever. But I was like, oh my god, dude. They probably run through shit like this all the time, and it's just like,
bunch of needles down there.
Oh, probably, dude, why you gotta say stuff like that? Makes my feet hurt.
Probably, dude.
You step on it, it's like the needle starts coming up, the train with the water filling up. You're just sitting on the drain, pokes you in the foot. Ow, what the fuck? Look down, there's a needle sticking out of the fucking drain. You're like, god damn, some it shit going on here.
And it was like bobbing in there.
Just poking you like,
damn, that shit would be like intense. But then, and randomly enough too, you're like your brother. Did you see your brother's ear? Like before he left, because he like got bit. Like it must have got bit on the inside of his ear. He was like, damn, I feel like there's something on my ear. And he's like, my mom said there was like kind of like a bite or whatever. And then that day, when after like the second or first day we were there, it was like, I'm like, oh no, there's legit. I'm like, you got like a freaking bite on there. It was like
a spider bite.
Yeah, it was like it was right inside. It was like kind of pussy looking and stuff. And he's like, God, it's like hurting and shit. I'm like, dude, I'll just juice it out of there. So I like took these Q-tips and I barely was even like pushing it out, and it was like pus came out of there. And it was like right on the edges too, where it was like I was trying to think, I'm like, what fucking spider, like, because right inside, I'm like, it had to have been a spider. It had, because it was definitely a bite, because I had done that before with like X and stuff like that. They had got bit on the back, and I was like, oh my god, I'm like, there's something on your fucking back. And I'm like, it's like a whole red area and everything, and it was like a bite because when juiced it, all this pus and gross shit came out. That was a whole another one that was disgusting. But with your brother, I'm like, dude, it's like looks like that. It's like starting to come to it. You barely touch it, it's like comes out. He's like, oh fuck, dude. He's like, oh my god, that hurt so bad and stuff. And I'm like, dude, goddamn, why'd you get another infection or some shit from this gross ass fucking place? Probably should have fucking left it, I'm like, get the Neosporin. We're like fucking hand sanitizing everything, Neosporin. I was like, oh my god, dude. We're like the two worst people to be here. We're like fucking walk. I always had like clothes on, shoes and shit. I'm like, fuck this place, dude.
Dude, there's these, they look like daddy long leg spiders, but you can kind of see their fangs. They got really long legs. They're good for killing other spiders. I have like 3 or 4 of them just sitting in the corners of my room, and I just let them do their thing.
You just till they come get you.
No, they don't. They hunt other spiders. Like I googled them because I first seen one of them. I was like, "What is this little motherfucker?" So I Google it, and it's like, oh, these guys, they hunt other spiders, like wolf spiders and stuff, and they kill like other bugs. And I remember killing one of them, and I kind of felt bad. I was like, shit, dude, I should have probably left them. Now there's 2 or 3 of them in there, and I'm like, I'll just leave you guys.
They're scheming.
I'll let them, dude. Dude, if they're like my vanguard, man.
It's funny.
Protector.
That's how one way to keep spiders out, right? You leave the old spider webs, and they get kind of dusty, and they can't build a web there, so they just fucking leave. It's like, but I mean,
dude,
I'd just clear it out if I was
yesterday I had to. The pipe got clogged up for the sink upstairs, and I had to go clean it out. I had to go into the crawl space underneath the house. I think there's like a bird that got mummified down there.
Oh fuck,
dude!
It's like arachnophobia shit.
Dude, the bird didn't. Okay, for starters, turned on the light down there, and it was just a wall of spider webs. Dude, It was just crisscrossed webs going everywhere, and I was just like, "Fuck, dude! I gotta go like 7 feet underneath that." And it was just crisscross spider web. So I'm just like, fuck it, dude. And I'm just like, and it was like crawling through blades of grass. Like that's
like
how thick
Indiana
it was.
Jones.
Dude.
Like,
yeah. And I like look over, there's a skeleton there. I'm like, oh,
poor
God,
soul.
damn, dude.
I hate snakes.
And then I found that bird down there, and it was probably dead for like years, but it was mummified. Because, usually when you see a bird dead outside, it's like bones or whatever. Mm-hmm. This bird looked like it died 2 minutes ago.
Oh, shit.
Like
Covered
it was
in
covered in dust, but like in perfect like condition. Like you can still see its black feathers and everything. I'm just like, the fuck, dude? Not even bugs want to be down here.
Stash it in his shirt. I'll serve that for later.
That's my pet.
Snack down here. He's like, did you get it out? Did you get it unclogged?
Yeah, I got it unclogged, but
hell yeah,
dude, it was fucking disgusting.
That's how you do it.
Dude, there's like a ball of spider web, like the size of a football in every corner, like just coming down, and then just like webs going from every direction, just covered in dust.
Oh shit, this shit's intense.
And I was just like, dude, I went around, collected it all on a little stick,
webbing it around,
just making myself a freaking cotton candy web.
Oh shit!
You could see all the old like spider husks in there. I'm like, ooh. Protein.
He's all, you ready for expedition, dude? So we're gonna have to fucking try out your metal detector now,
dude. We're gonna have to.
So that's what maybe we'll do that, because I was already like flying by, but we should do that for the next fucking episode. Talk about like using the metal detector.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because that's what we're gonna coming up next. Will be the Lost Mines expedition. We'll be checking some cool shit out, dude. That's the next adventure.
Alexi's gonna be going with us.
That'd be cool.
Brian's
going to be coming too.
You're going to be coming?
I got all the snacks.
He's going to bring all the meat.
Whatever, dude. I'm bringing food this time for sure.
But hell yeah, dude. I think we should do that.
Yep.
Thanks for listening to the adventures, and till the next time. Shit, I feel like I've learned a lot on this one. Heavy brick podcast. Damn Texas. But yeah, buy the bows through the Amazon link. Also buy the nanny cams through there. Anything off the wish list. If you want to see me wear it, go ahead, buy it and send it to me. I'll send you a personal DM. I'll give you freaking 25 minutes on the cam, gold coin and all. So yeah, I don't know about these two. They don't offer any of that stuff, but
no.
Yeah.
See a t-shirt.
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 Yeah.
See a